Here are two intervals that sound exactly the same, key for key, and yet they wear two different names. Press F, then press B above it. 6 keys apart, that restless, hollow tritone sound. Now press B, then press F above it. The very same distance, the very same sound, but the first one is called an augmented fourth and the second is called a diminished fifth. Same sound coming out of the piano, two different names on the page. If you played both for a friend with their eyes shut, they could not tell you which was which, because there is nothing to tell apart in the sound itself. And still, a trained musician writes them differently on purpose, and reads them differently too. That is what this lesson is about, why one single sound gets two spellings, and how the spelling you choose quietly tells you what the note is actually doing. So why would anyone bother carrying two names for one sound? Take the classic pair and play it slowly. From F up to B is an augmented fourth. Listen. From B up to F is a diminished fifth. Listen again. Both of them span 6 semitones, count them and you will get 6 every time. Both of them are the tritones sitting dead in the middle of the octave, and to your ear they are identical, the same uneasy clang with no home. If sound were the only thing that mattered, one name would do the job and we could throw the other away. But written notation is not only a recording of sound. It is also a map of function, where a note has just come from, and where it is about to go. The spelling is a small label that carries that extra information on top of the pitch. So the augmented fourth and the diminished fifth are not two facts about the sound, which is one thing. They are two facts about the context, about the music on either side. Once you read a name that way, it stops being a nuisance to memorize and starts being a clue you can use. Here is the clue in action, and this is the heart of the whole idea. An augmented fourth wants to grow. The two notes lean apart, outward, and they resolve by spreading away from each other. The augmented fourth opens. The fourth has become a sixth, the voices moving in opposite directions. A diminished fifth wants to do the opposite. It wants to shrink. The two notes lean together, inward, and they resolve by closing the gap. The diminished fifth closes. The fifth has become a third. Same 6 semitones either way, the same clang at the start, but the augmented fourth opens outward and the diminished fifth pulls inward, and the name written on the page tells the player in advance which of those two pulls is coming. That is the whole reason for spelling a tritone one way rather than the other. The sound is a coin flip, the spelling tells you which side it is going to land on. Now zoom out, because this is not some special trick that only the tritone can play. It is a general idea, and it has a name. Enharmonic simply means same sound, different name. You already met it once, with single notes. The one black key sitting between F and G is F sharp when you are raising F up a semitone, and it is G flat when you are lowering G down a semitone. One physical key, two names, and which name is correct depends entirely on the music around it. A scale built on F will spell it F sharp, a scale built on G flat will spell it G flat. Intervals do the very same thing on a larger scale. The distance between two keys gets one number when it is spelled one way and a different number when it is spelled the other way, even though your ear hears a single, unchanging sound. The keyboard has no opinion. The page does. The tritone is not the only enharmonic pair, so let me give you two more to recognize, and play each one. 3 semitones up from C lands on exactly the same key whether you choose to call it an augmented second or a minor third. Listen to those 3 semitones. The sound is one fixed thing, the name depends purely on the letters you build it from. Now go higher. 8 semitones works the same way, an augmented fifth and a minor sixth are the very same distance on the keyboard. Listen to those 8 semitones. Again, one sound, 2 possible spellings. You could collect these pairs all day, and the pattern never changes. Each pair is a single sound wearing 2 different labels, and the label is always chosen to fit smoothly with the notes that sit on either side of it. An augmented second shows up in certain minor scales, where the surrounding letters force that exact spelling, while a minor third is the everyday name you meet in chords. Same keys under your fingers, different jobs in the music. The sound is fixed, the name is a choice, and the choice always follows the letters. So how do you choose the right spelling for yourself, when you are the one writing it down? There is a simple two-step method, and the surprise is that the first step does almost all of the heavy lifting. Step 1. Count the letter names first, to fix the number. Forget sharps and flats for a moment and just walk the alphabet. From F up to B, say the letters out loud: F, G, A, B. That is for letter names, counting both ends, so the interval has to be some kind of fourth, full stop. It can never be a fifth, no matter how wide or how restless it sounds. From B up to F, walk the letters again: B, C, D, E, F. That is 5 letter names, so it has to be some kind of fifth. Notice that we have not listened to anything yet. The letters alone have already set the number, before quality has even entered the room. This is why two intervals that sound the same can have different numbers. They are built on a different span of letters. Then, and only then, comes step 2, you adjust the quality with sharps and flats. F up to B is a fourth, and that particular fourth is 1 semitone wider than a plain perfect fourth, so we call it an augmented fourth, augmented meaning stretched a little wider. B up to F is a fifth, and that fifth is 1 semitone narrower than a plain perfect fifth, so we call it a diminished fifth, diminished meaning squeezed a little smaller. Letters first to set the number, quality second to fine-tune it, every single time. Now try the method on the other pair we played. From C up to E flat is C, D, E, 3 letters, so a third, and at 3 semitones it is a minor third. Spell that very same key as D sharp instead, and now you are looking at C, D, only 2 letters, a second, which at 3 semitones is an augmented second. The sound never moved an inch. Only the letters changed, and the letters decided everything about the name. So the same sound really can wear 2 names, and the name is never random. It tells you the note's job in the music, which letter it is built on, and which way it is going to resolve. Count the letters first to lock in the number, then bend the quality with a sharp or a flat, and the correct spelling falls straight out without any guesswork. From here on you can look at a written tritone and know whether it is about to open outward or pull inward before a single note has resolved, just from the way it is spelled. The augmented fourth promises an opening, the diminished fifth promises a closing. That is reading function, not just pitch, and it is the same skill behind every key signature and every chord you will ever write. The keyboard gives you the sound. The spelling gives you the meaning. Next, we turn from reading these intervals on the page to hearing them in the air, the fastest way to lock every interval into your ear for good, using songs you already know by heart.